Hello, and I really need to find a better way to welcome this show.
Hello!
We are too sweet.
We are too sweet. It's been a while.
It has. There was a bit of a distraction in the middle because Jay went to Glastonbury.
During the Glastonbury that struggled to recover from Glastonbury, clearly.
Because Glastonbury, it's
I'm brown and it's not just the mud.
it's full of hippies,
It's full of hippies.
and he doesn't like hippies.
And mud. And for some reason, a lot of people this year that really, really like Coldplay.
Was that the headliner?
Yeah, I didn't go see them because I'm, really dead cool.
You're not middle class enough.
No, I went to see LCD Sound System instead, which is also quite middle class.
Yeah, it's middle class hips.
Middle class hipster, that was me.
Hipster indie.
Just like James Murphy. But a lot has happened in the world of wrestling.
Too much, yeah.
Too much.
We've had World Cruiserweight Classic roster.
From Cruiserweight Classics to
Yeah,
Japanese title changes to Matt Hardy losing his mind
which is
to
beautiful.
everything to Lucha Underground Ultima Lucha Dos, which is where we're at this
Part
week.
1 of 3.
Part 1 of 3 because it keeps getting bigger. It's just going to be an entire series soon.
Well, I'd be okay with that.
I'd be totally fine with that.
It'd also be cool if they actually decided to tour it. Come on.
Yeah, I know. It's
we
whether they can afford it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much money they're losing.
I had a thought, you have the, what is it called, War of the Worlds type of thing. And you get them coming over here and they viewed Japan, New Japan, I think it was.
Coming over here, stealing our wrestling jobs.
Going to Reading. Who cares about Reading? Pro Revolution Wrestling, I think it was, the War of the Worlds.
Oh, was it Rev?
I think so, yeah.
Or was it Preston?
It might have been PCW. I think they've had one as well.
PCW have a lot of Ring of Honor crossover shows, yeah.
But why not have War of the Worlds or a similarly named brand with the Mexican companies
Well,
and have them pop over here?
I feel like AAA have.
Not recently.
AAA used to come to TNA. I remember that, but
Yeah, they did, but nothing recently. Well, you've got Mexican wrestlers coming to the UK and doing a crossover show, or America or whatever.
it'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Oh, what?
Imagine if Pentagon came up there.
Yeah,
Imagine if you were breathing the same British air as Pentagon Jr.
I'd have a little cry in the corner.
Exactly, and then he'd appear out of nowhere because that's what Lucha Underground does.
Yeah, it does. But anyhow, loads to go through. But loads that has happened.
There's only one place we can start, really. I mean, if we're going on the past week in wrestling, so basically, Matt Hardy has lost his mind.
Yeah, what actually caused him to lose his mind?
It was
I can't remember.
it was something to do with Jeff. He had the double turn with EC3. I remember with the title change a few months ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't watch TNA, so there was nothing piquing our interest then, so we weren't really paying attention. But at some point since that heel turn, Matt Hardy has developed a limp.
There was a match, I know there was a no holds barred or falls count anywhere match in which Jeff Hardy did his usual insane thing where he, did a sunset dive, I can't remember.
Swanton bomb.
Swanton bombs off the top of the moon or something.
Yeah.
Through a table.
Well, that was the same match where Matt Hardy, this was after the Brother Nero stuff had started. Matt Hardy, in that match, put Jeff Hardy through a keyboard, if I do recall.
As you do.
They had the original video, which we covered before our break, was Jeff going to see Matt at his house. Matt Hardy playing the piano, Jeff Hardy showing up, he's Brother Nero to Matt Hardy now, he's not even Jeff. Matt Hardy is the sole heir to the Hardy brand. It's a very convoluted story.
It's kind of like a cross between the really bad movie The Room and Phantom of the Opera into some weird wrestling thing.
I'm afraid I haven't seen The Room.
I haven't. I just know of it by reputation.
I think OSW reviewed The Room. Well, I'll have to link it to that. But so yes, it is a combination between something crazy and something terrible.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. So basically, Matt Hardy duped Jeff Hardy into getting side effected through a table after Ruby Sky threw the baby at Jeff Hardy, but it wasn't the baby, it was a doll. And Jeff Hardy's like, "What's wrong with you?"
Who is the?
See, it's very good to talk about really fast because none of it makes any sense.
Who is the creative guy who wrote this? Because
This is Matt Hardy's work.
Oh, it's all in. Oh wow, he's kind of a genius.
This is Matt, bit of Jeff, obviously, and Jeremy Borash has been doing the production and stuff on it. He's been putting it all together for them. So it is just it's an in-house type deal here.
Mr. Bobby Roode,
Bobby Roode, yeah. And Matt Hardy, since then, he's got a little blonde bit in his hair. His hair's all dishevelled. He's limping. He's got a gardener.
He's got a haircut like Haku.
His hair is a lot like Haku's, but with a
weird.
but with a white streak through it, like Seth Rollins' old hair. And he's developed an accent, which is kind of like weirdly Shakespearean, but
Yeah, he's an odd character, amazing character. But
so I'd love to meet someone who hadn't seen wrestling since the Hardy Boys were Team Extreme fame, and then just see what's happened to Matt Hardy. But he is broken, and he has challenged Brother Nero to a match where it all began, which is in Cameron, North Carolina.
Was it actually there?
Yes, it was in Cameron, North Carolina.
Beautiful.
I think it was somewhere around their houses, near their houses. So Impact happened. I watched the entire episode of this Impact because I didn't want to miss any preamble, and there was preamble. Jeff's chilling in his house playing the guitar. You know, like you do. He's in a band. It's terrible, and he's just chilling. Then all of a sudden, a drone flies in.
As you
You haven't seen this, have you? I'm going to telling you about this for the first time. This is amazing.
I'm going to watch this. You know.
So a drone flies in and starts shouting, "Brother Nero, Brother Nero, Brother Nero." Jeff's like, "What the hell?" So Jeff starts chasing it with his guitar.
It sounds like Lucha.
Yep. Oh, it was. People have compared. People have said if the Junior Guy did this, it would have been cinematic genius. But because TNA did it, but yeah, it was all based on drone cam. So Jeff chases this drone into a room where he's chasing it with his guitar. He's trying to hit it with a guitar, and then there's more drones. There's loads of drones swarming the house. A drone's in the room, and it projects Matt Hardy's face out of it.
Oh, my word.
As some sort of evil overlord who invites Jeff Hardy to where it all began, which actually was Matt Hardy's house.
Matt Hardy the Merciless.
There will be a lot of laughing breaks as I go on here. Oh, it's weird having to describe this. So basically, they're trying to lure Jeff out of his house.
Yeah.
Jeff starts chasing after all the drones. He's smashing them with a guitar. He's losing his mind. He gets on his bike. He's swatting them away because Jeff's only means of travel is this motorbike, which nearly killed him.
Are you making this up?
Nope. Jeff's being dragged away from his house just so that Matt Hardy appears on a lawnmower, arms outstretched, laughing maniacally, ruining Jeff Hardy's garden.
I want to see a film of this.
You will see it. It'll be there. Completely ruins all the patterns on Jeff Hardy's garden whilst laughing because his evil plan worked. Jeff loses his mind completely. He goes to where it all began.
Oh my, this is beautiful.
Later that day, it is baby Maxwell's birthday party. Matt Hardy and Reby Sky's little baby. They have a lovely little birthday.
Is there anything else on this show besides this?
No, there was other matches. There was, absolutely. The rest of the show was bad.
Okay.
The rest of the show, I don't want to talk about that whatsoever.
It just seems like, let's forget about the rest of the show and let's just do this.
It was all based around this.
Okay,
and they did a really good job. So it's baby Maxwell's birthday. And they're in the place where the first video happened. Reby and Matt are presenting him with presents. Senor Benjamin, he's the gardener from the first video. He has a bigger part to play this time. Senor Benjamin comes in and presents baby Maxwell with a present, to which Matt Hardy exclaims, "Beautiful! It is a fantastic xylophone." It's just a little xylophone. He's very happy with it. Reby asks what Matt Hardy's gift is. Matt Hardy's gift is the destruction of Brother Nero tonight, and tells Senor Benjamin to prepare the battlefield for massacre. Senor Benjamin goes out, and we get a little video package of Senor Benjamin preparing the battlefield for massacre.
He's got a lot of responsibilities for a gardener.
He does. He's the breakout star of this. I can confirm he already has a shirt on ProWrestlingTees.com. So he starts placing weapons under the ring. If you're ever wondering who puts the weapons under there, it's Senor Benjamin.
He gets about.
He does get about. He also sets up fireworks around the ring.
Wow.
And Matt Hardy instructs him to pour gasoline along the battlefield. The battlefield is large, by the way, but it is centered around a wrestling ring. A referee comes in. It's later that night. Matt Hardy says, You have one job. It is to count the pinfall or take the submission." It was the weird way he said submission, just completely cracked me up. Submission. And the ref's scared to bits, bless him. He doesn't have any idea what's going on. This is in the dark. The production's weird because it's all by drone. So it's all drone cameras.
Yeah, that's odd.
So it's like flying around the ring. There is no commentary to this. It's just really intense period drama music to Matt and Jeff Hardy actually putting on a scripted match in the ring.
How was the match?
It was, well, Matt and Jeff Hardy match.
Yeah.
It was all right. It was decent. And then it all just started to go a bit mental. Jeff did a swanton bomb from a tree. Was supposed to be through a ladder into the ring, but missed completely and just smashed his head off the ladder.
I look forward to the botchamania of it.
Oh, there's a botchamania dedicated to it entirely. It's called Brother Nero Mania or something.
Yeah, Nero Mania. Whatever.
They end up fighting towards the. Oh no! Matt Hardy starts shooting fireworks at Jeff Hardy at one point. Jeff Hardy protects himself with a bin lid to protect himself from being burnt seriously by fireworks.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy then grabs his own firework gun as Matt Hardy runs towards a boat shouting, "A dilapidated boat!" and then hides in the boat. This is all from memory as well. I can't believe I'm remembering this. To which Matt Hardy shoots the boat with Jeff Hardy shoots the boat with fireworks.
You sure this isn't like Commando deleted scenes?
This is the director's cut.
Yeah.
To which they end up fighting into the lake. They're in the water. Jeff Hardy completely disappears submerged, and Matt Hardy thinks he's won. Who emerges from the water but Willow? Oh, of course Willow appears. Willow is going mental. Willow beats the hell out of Matt Hardy. But then Matt Hardy, I can't even remember what he clocks him with, but he does knock him out completely. And pins him for the 1-2-3. But he takes the mask off, and it isn't Jeff Hardy.
Aww.
It's Senor Benjamin, the gardener. he's under the Willow mask. So the pin does not count. Jeff Hardy appears, and then they start fighting on the Jeff Hardy's dirt track, which is basically mud wrestling between the two of them. And eventually they come to a grave that Matt Hardy has dug for Jeff Hardy. I suppose it's a grave. To which Jeff Hardy's, the tombstone is Jeff Hardy's symbol. Jeff Hardy goes to the top, but remember that Senor Benjamin set up some gasoline along the place, didn't he?
Yeah, that's not sounding.
There was a candle earlier. Matt Hardy's life flashes before his eyes at this point, by the way. He has flashbacks, which are shown on screen. And he is presented with a candle by Rebby, his wife, from the party earlier. And he said that this candle will burn until the destruction of Brother Nero. He drops the candle. The gasoline goes up to the Jeff Hardy symbol with Jeff Hardy on it. It sets alight. Jeff Hardy falls off the symbol, which is ablaze. I'm amazed I've recounted all this. I've probably missed some epic bits out. But Jeff Hardy falls to his doom, and Matt pins him for the 1-2-3, leading to the deletion of Brother Nero. At numerous points in this match, Matt Hardy did keep shouting, "Delete, delete, delete."
That's really bad Dalek.
But he deletes Brother Nero, and now Jeff Hardy can no longer be called Jeff Hardy. That was the...
He's probably just going to go by Willow, isn't he?
Oh, Brother Nero.
Yeah.
He is Brother Nero.
That sounds magical.
And now Matt Hardy owns the Hardy brand, and...
it doesn't sound like the future's all that positivity in it either, which kind of makes...
No, and
it's sad.
If last week's episode was the last episode of TNA, it was the perfect end.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
The final deletion with the deletion of Matt Hardy and the victory of broken Matt Hardy.
Everything else would be anticlimactic.
And this will be... Oh, yeah, that's how Willow went down. Oh, yeah, that's why it makes no sense. You know, when Willow went down, it was because Senor Benjamin tased him. But then...
That makes no sense.
But then Senor Benjamin was Willow.
How many Senor Benjamins are there?
Exactly. Senor Benjamin is actually played by Rebby Sky's dad.
Really?
Which is like, hey, my Hispanic dad, you can play a gardener.
Oh, dear. That's brilliant.
So, please watch it.
I'm going to.
Everyone needs to watch it.
Do you know your Spielbergs from your Scorseses? Do you know your Woos from your Wachowskis? Do you think Michael Bay should stop making Transformers films? Then you should tune in to Cinema Eclectica, the Geek Show's dedicated movie podcast.
Let's go from something that everybody should watch to something that, well...
Upset you?
No, we'll go with the local promotion.
Local to an extent, I guess, yeah.
It's within 50 miles.
As promised on Twitter this week, we like to review local promotions. Our intention was to start reviewing a lot more indie promotions in Britain.
But the future is... Well, we'll see what happens in the next month or so.
Yeah. We decided to go with... Well, something caught my eye, which was that popular YouTube channel, I suppose.
It's like 10 things that the WWE want you to forget about Triple H and stuff like that.
Like it's like the Bleacher Report of videos.
Yeah.
Therefore, that's not a glowing review because the Bleacher Report is terrible.
It's okay every now and again, but
I don't mind it. I subscribe to them on YouTube. I don't mind the odd video. They've got some guys that are quite clever.
Well, clever as in they've watched a lot of wrestling and I remember it well.
Yeah, they watch a lot of wrestling, remember it well. They make good lists.
Yeah.
But I like making lists myself, but I'm not a big fan of watching lists, whatever. So they've started, it's What Culture is the website. What Culture is more than wrestling, isn't it?
It's like a whole cross-section. They do games and movies and bits and pieces.
Kind of like, well, they're quite similar to us, and that's why...
Only we're good.
Yeah, we're awesome.
Yeah,
but that's why they caught my eye. Was like these guys have gotten to a point where they have enough money to start their own wrestling promotion, which it caught me by surprise.
Well, yeah, it caught me by surprise as well because I thought at least you're going to change the name because What Culture Pro Wrestling is what they've called it.
Yeah,
I mean it does. It does go down into WCPW, which is it's okay.
Sounds alright, that doesn't it? But that was like first red flag for me. Obviously, they do have to relate to the company that owns the umbrella. Which I would have preferred like What Culture presents a wrestling promotion.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to What Culture Pro Wrestling. But that's the first of quite a few niggles
so
with
this
it.
is the second week. I never watched the first week.
I skipped through the first week. One of my tests that I was putting out for this show was to see how much the second show referred to the first show and told you about it, reminded you of what happened last week. So that people who were just coming in out of nowhere to watch it were clued up. I did skip through episode 1, so I had a rough idea of what happened anyway.
I watched episode 2. I think the fundamental problem... It has a lot of problems. I mean, it's only episode 2, so you can't be too harsh on it, because maybe in the future, good things will happen. I mean, I think the advertisement for Damien Sandow and or whatever he's going by on the indie circuit.
Aaron Stevens, I assume he'll be going by.
And Will Ospreay, having a show up there.
So they've got quite a bit of money in the pot to spend on talent.
Yeah, but the problem is they're taking all the wrong cues from what the style's going to be, because episode 2... it's only episode 2, so there's a lot of new characters. And what they did was have so many promos.
Yeah.
I didn't know who was what was who, what's going on, why is this. And even without that, just the production value of it is constant. They've got the wrong type of mic.
Yeah.
So, you have like the promo bits where it's got somebody backstage with a microphone talking to whoever it is. Yeah. And if they're not talking in the mic, you can't hear them. No. So it's really inconsistent vibe with the production value.
Well, the volume was my big issue for this. I mean, I was having to adjust my volume up and down, depending on what segment it was, depending on whether it was the two guys at the commentary desk, who I will talk about in length. The interviewers backstage and the in-reaction. I decided eventually, after getting sick of upping and downing my volume, to leave it at in-ring volume. And if I can't hear anything, that's the fault of the show, not mine.
Well, yeah, that's true.
If I can't hear something, I'll assume it's not worth listening to, because if the volume's not there, well, they can't be saying anything important then. You haven't, in editing, in post-production, you haven't deemed that important enough to keep us the same level.
Yeah, because even in the in-ring stuff, I know the crowd isn't bad, but the way the audio production was presented, it made this crowd sound way, way, way too loud.
Yeah, well, obviously...
And there was not many of them, so that's like a constant...
That could have been a purposeful tactic of making it sound like it was a hot crowd. And don't get me wrong, it probably was. I mean, it was... I'd say you looked about 7 or 8 rows deep.
Yeah,
so there must have been about 200, 300 people there.
Potentially, yeah.
The issue with the crowd is, for a new viewer, I mean, I am not a big on What Culture, I don't know.
I don't particularly
They clearly have a lot of in-jokes and crack and whatever. Yeah. It was What Culture fanboys, obviously, that were in the crowd. And they loved every bit of it.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. You want to get your hot crowd like the ECW crowd, whatever. Obviously not quite the ECW crowd. But yeah, I'll take this step by step. First off, I had my television at normal volume, and then it was just the almost silent commentary team to start with, which is a man dressed as a king.
Yeah, in a rip on JR. I can assume.
Lawler, you mean?
Yeah. Jerry Lawler.
And a bald-headed guy, I think was called Simon. I'm going to call him Simon.
He's got like a nice broadcasting voice.
Yeah, I liked him. He's clearly very new to the job.
He's a straight man.
He says at one point it's his second time ever commentating.
Which, I might assume the first one was the first show they did.
The
other one is a very conscious Geordie, Geordie. The whole idea is he's supposed to be a king. He has that whole shtick. And I use the word shtick because it felt like a comedy routine.
Yeah, he was He was my major issue with this show. Was him.
He had a few good gags. I can't lie, but like 90% of it is just, come on.
At one point, I was glad I couldn't hear the commentary because I did not want to listen to it anymore. It was ruining the show for me.
Yeah.
But obviously, his commentary was up during the matches, and he did not. He talked about the matches about 3 times throughout the entire show. The rest of it was him cracking his own jokes, sitting there, just having fun on his own, which is not his job. That's not what a colour commentator is there for.
I
assume that was his job.
Yeah, he is clearly the colour commentator.
Away from the commentary team for a bit, coming into the show, Rampage Brown is the top heel in this company.
Which isn't a bad thing.
And the top face seems to be Big Damo, I'm assuming, but it's also a lot of guys they're bringing in week by week.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a great opportunity to see some of the English wrestlers who I've never seen before. So,
well, yeah, I
first
saw
match,
a few familiar names from Ice and stuff.
I think it was Jason Prime.
Jason Prime.
In the first match.
The first match was Drake versus Primate.
Yeah, that's not his real name. That's
His
just
Primate called Jason something.
Jason the Primate Prime.
Right. Oh,
so he's
a cool name.
He's Geordie. I've seen you see in Middlesbrough there's this wrestling promotion that comes here. I don't know if it's based locally or it just pops here every now and again. Called EPW.
No, the one with Bram all the time.
Yeah, and I think he features in them a lot.
Oh, is he?
So it's when they play out in like weird places, and I never understood why they play somewhere I can go and get a bus there and I'll go and watch it happily.
Yeah,
but it's like go and get a bus there and then transfer here and then walk 5 minutes and then get another bus. It's like no, just go somewhere where I can go.
It sounds like random places in Colby Newham or
yeah, it is. It is. So having the opportunity to see these people like that and say actually not bad. Not bad at all.
But what they wasn't opening the show. They took the Raw route of opening with their GM, who's a man called Adam Pesiti.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I want to bring attention to. There's lots of people who do the lists they're doubling up as sort of the GM and the manager at Rampage Brown, and it sits so horribly. These people, I mean, I try to compare it to WWE with all the managers and all the interviews and all the segments. We don't want that. British wrestling is different than that. People who like British wrestling like wrestling. They just want to see wrestling.
Yeah. Someone pointed out, I think it was someone, I can't remember, I saw it on Twitter, but I've actually seen quite a few people say that because of that, because this Pesiti, who I Googled, and the first thing I found out was that he was on GMTV once.
Oh, brilliant.
With him being the GM and the other lad being the manager of Rampage Brown, I assume that, well, obviously the guys on commentary as well. That King bloke I've seen in a couple of videos, I'm sure.
I've seen him about, yeah.
It came across as a big vanity project.
Yeah, it does.
Of putting themselves over into the wrestlers. A lot of people said that. And they kind of play out that way through the show. I mean, obviously, this Pesiti's the GM. He kind of looks like a shrunken Stephen Merchant type guy. And he's not. He's very dry, very
boring.
He's quite dull.
There's like another bit later on. I think it was when Big Damo, it might have been. Yeah, when Big Damo came down, and he come down with like a kid, and it's like, what's that? His nephew or something?
Oh yeah, that weird kid. He's in an interview as well, isn't he? He was a jobber last week.
Is that supposed to be like manager?
I think so.
Or
Yeah.
is it literally his nephew?
He came out as a guy called Jack the Jobber last week. So I assume he's actually wrestling for them. I don't know.
It's just.
He comes out where he wears a Pesiti Club t-shirt as well, which I assume is some sort of faction relating to this GM.
Which is kind of
the GM having a faction.
Really most smart marky.
Yeah.
And smarky, yeah, that's the one. Don't like it.
First match I didn't mind. This Primate versus Drake.
Yeah, it was an alright match. I mean, the both Geordie talents. One was sort of the nimble, not high flyer, but he's very fast style.
Yeah, it was big versus small, wasn't
it? And the other one was sort of a monster. They said Suplex City, and then the commentary.
Suplex
one of his, he told it Suplex Town. They constantly made references to the fact that we can't do that because it's WWE stuff without saying that, which I thought was a cheap gag.
There's a big point in the storyline of the show is that the pile driver is banned. That was the big point of the show, wasn't it?
It should be.
Yeah, not pile driver. Yeah, they decided to make a storyline out of it. Rampage broke someone's neck apparently last week with a
cameraman.
Yeah, and the problem with that bit. Sorry to take away from the first match is
that's all right.
He's talking about the pile driver being banned and expecting the fans to buy it. The problem with What Culture themselves starting a promotion is that all your fans watch your videos because they're like trying to be smarks. Like,
yeah,
you try to keep up as a smark. You watch it to be a smark, like a smart mark. They won't do kayfabe.
No.
They started chanting as he was talking about it. They started chanting, well, like basically saying, well, that's not true. That's definitely not true. You're lying. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It gets back to that core point. I mean, British wrestling fans just want wrestling.
yeah, they weren't going to play along with this storyline.
They don't care.
And you can hear them not playing along. So it just makes this Pasiti guy look stupid in the ring.
I mean, look at Progress. Look at Preston City. Look at Pro Rev. They're like the big three.
Yeah,
like Southside. They're another big one.
All storytelling there is straightforward, isn't it?
Let's fight.
Yeah.
That's it.
These are trying to take these fancy themselves as writing a wrestling show. Yeah. I can't knock them for trying to do storylines, but it's not going to work with that crowd there because they'll just call you. They'll just call you every time.
It's a British crowd. It doesn't matter where it is.
Audibly call you every time, so you can't do storyline in the ring.
No,
because you'll just be made to look like an idiot, like this poor Pasiti lad was. Primate is the big beast of this company, apparently, although Rampage Brown also is.
Yeah, it's kind of confused identity.
He starts chucking Drake around like he's a rag doll. He lands in his neck a few times. I thought it was a bit
horrible.
It was dangerous.
In an interview afterwards, one of the hundreds upon hundreds of interviews that I got confused about who was who and what. Like I said, but yeah, he had his head bust open.
Yeah, he did. He was bleeding at the end of the match, wasn't he? He wasn't particularly happy. Primate's managed by another What Culture person.
Yeah,
Susie.
Yeah,
she's called. I don't know. She has a horrible voice, and she announces him as the winner after he uses a spear. Imagine that.
Original
big guy using a spear. I suppose Drake being busted up and losing like that sort of makes the Primate look a bit badass.
Yeah, it does.
I quite like the booking of Primate, but I do not like his manager.
No, doesn't need one.
They try to put her over some kind of Vicky Guerrero character, but there's only one Vicky Guerrero.
That's all it needs to be.
A man called Stevie is doing the interviews tonight. Stevie. He interviews Gabriel Kidd, who's congratulated by a man in a turban. This is the first interview.
There's another guy, the guy in the turban. There's another one who've seen in the EPW posters popping up all over the place.
Yeah, I've seen him before. I knew I'd seen him from somewhere.
Yeah.
He's called...
Prince Amin, I think.
Prince Amin?
Yeah.
He gets the generic I'm a bit Asian gimmick of having a turban and a beautiful, colourful jacket.
Yeah.
With
did like his jacket.
With music like when you're in the Egypt level on Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, kind of.
What I can only describe as he's riding the magic carpet music.
Yeah, kind of racist.
Very generic. Turban Man starts to treat this Gabriel Kidd guy like a servant. Do bear in mind that this is the first interview which is interrupted by someone else.
I lost count.
Let's see if that happens again tonight. Low volume again as we have another interview with Drake. Guess what? Drake was interrupted.
Yeah.
By a man who is apparently rich despite having the pikiest haircut known to man. He says that he can offer him all the money and women in the world. I was like, mate, if you have all the money in the world, sort your hair out. Buy a decent suit. If you're going to be Ted DiBiase, look the part. Don't look like you're trying to sell a dodgy car. Although, I don't know if he's trying to be a Del Boy, maybe. You never know.
I don't know.
Drake gives him a lot of sass. I did like... These interviews are very sassy.
Yeah.
A lot of the wrestlers are just getting a bit stroppy.
Well,
I
actually talked into the microphone. Yeah. It's fine.
When they know where the mic is. At this point, we're back for more banter with the commentary team.
Yeah, because it kind of, Wrestle Talk TV, it kind of broke off and then went LM and it looked like a Wrestle Talk TV set rather than a thing that was ringside and they were commentating on. It was just very alienating a little bit. It's like, oh, right, they're the commentary frame. I didn't realise. And
they have a lot of gimmicks. I mean, behind it, they have loads of What Culture T-shirts. I was like, God, like 2 weeks in and we have hundreds of T-shirts already.
You don't need that.
The volume's terrible again. The King calls Newcastle the best place in the UK, which is the one and only funny thing he says all night.
It's not even remotely close.
Joe Hendry is interviewed. We have the third interview in a row.
Yeah, this is where I got lost completely.
Guess what happens?
Is this the one where a guy in gold comes up and says, oh, you should be on my tag team?
Well, what happens again is someone's getting interviewed and they get interrupted.
Yeah.
That's 3 out of 3 interviews where that's happened.
Yeah.
In a row, without a match in between them. At this point, I was getting mind numbed completely. I was happy to see Joe Hendry because it was like, I know who you are. Yay. They keep calling him the local hero and the global hero, which is pick one.
Yeah, kind of both.
Joseph Connors is the guy that comes in. They form a tag team after...
The Prince Amin and some kid that looks like some kid.
Also formed a tag team. So we've had 2 identical segments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. The banter train rolls back into town and we are at the commentary desk for a 5th segment without wrestling.
Yeah.
And this is
like making TNA looking like action-packed.
That portion of the show can kiss my behind. That was awful. That should have put anyone off. And this is put into parts on YouTube. This is in 5 parts. Yeah. And that was a mind-numbing couple of parts.
Yeah, it was. I think there's like an hour show and we've got 3 matches, I think. Yeah.
You think, after the banter train rolled out of town, that we would be going straight to the match.
Nah.
We get the fourth interview in a row, and it's with the same two guys from the last interview.
You see, this is where I lost my place in all reality. I just didn't know what was going on.
And the narrative made no sense because they were dressed differently as well.
Yeah.
And so it clearly says that loads of this was filmed. Oh, I don't even know, because this is all in one night as well, and they keep messing that up. It's supposed to be last week and this week,
Yeah.
but it's clearly all in one night.
Yeah,
and even the
done that.
King guy slips up because he's terrible at that and says, we've had a lot of action tonight. That happened earlier tonight, but it was actually meant to be last week. You know. So this tag team of Joe Hendry and Joe Connor are facing the other tag team that was formed in the other interview. Imagine that.
Imagine.
So Gabriel Kidd and Prince Amin, that is his name. I did note it down eventually. Someone's having a field day every time a wrestler comes to the ring with the videos.
I don't often say this about wrestling or anything related to wrestling, but I so feel sorry for whoever had to edit this.
Yeah.
That's a hard job that they've been given to make any sort of sense out of this.
Go on. I'd like to know why you think that.
Well, it's just like they've dropped a lot of footage. Just go on, make some sense out of that.
Yeah.
It's like I don't really know where to begin with all of this.
Here's 4 interview segments.
I'm not a wrestling guy. I'm an editor. What am I supposed to do with this?
Well,
and that's how you end up with 4 interviews on the bounce.
Well, they filmed 3 interviews pertinent to this match and had to fit them in, given that this was the second match on the show.
Yeah.
So you have 3 interviews, which you have to slam into the first half hour of the show.
Which is terrible.
Because basically, for I'd say about 60 or 70% of this now, I've watched Gabriel Kidd and Prince Amin and Joseph Connors and Joe Hendry talk.
I mean, even if
And now
you
wrestle.
take an example from like NXT, which is about an hour show, they've got, 2 or 3?
Yeah.
And they're really, really broken up.
Snappy, to the point, done, and not the same.
Yeah.
Always a bit different. Someone's having a field day with the A-level production project here that they're clearly doing at college with all the entrance videos.
Oh, yeah.
Just their name with some sort of graphic around it.
Well.
Local hero, global hero, Joe Hendry sings a song for his theme, though. He's
Yeah.
made his own song. I like that.
He can sing as well.
I do like that. He does have a good singing voice. He also sings, part of the song says, I can actually wrestle. I'm not just making lists, having a dig at what culture.
So
in his
he
own
should.
entrance theme.
So he should.
Shots fired. I must say, although the production is, the ring cameras are good.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give that to the show. The ring cameras. It was better than, you remember how fuming I was at the bloody Samoa Joe Finn Balor match where it was changing every 2 seconds.
Yeah. Right,
No shaky cameras. No constant changing shots.
At least that's something.
You're better than Kevin Dunn. We'll give you that.
To start.
Better than Kevin Dunn. For the first few, there's a part of this match where nothing happens for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
There's just high fives, kind of.
Yeah, I was really awkward. It's on YouTube, so I just kind of think, okay, that's how the this goes for. How long does this go for? How long does this go for? Wow.
I didn't do that till later on. I finally gave in, did have to skip through some, but I was really, really slugging this out at this point. Slugging, even. There's a lot of talky stuff in the ring. I don't know if you've been to a British indie show before.
I haven't, nah.
Really fun when you're there to hear the guys shouting at each other and making jokes for the crowd, popping the crowd with stuff they're saying. These guys do a lot of this, which does not translate to video.
Nah.
It doesn't translate to video at all. It's for the crowd, and you kind of like having to rewind and go, what did he say?
Yeah, because the audio is all over the place.
Tell the story through the wrestling. Don't be shouting. Unless you're going to really mic the ring up, don't bother. Doesn't translate. This match wasn't fun at all. The crowd keep themselves very interested, unlike the commentary team who halfway through just forget they are commentating on a wrestling match and just banter. I keep calling it banter because banter doesn't have to be necessarily funny.
Nah, it doesn't.
The King does the best thing he does all show, which he says, I'm going to leave this to you, Simon.
And he does a better
King
job.
leaves the commentary booth. And Simon on his own for a bit, as he claims it, Joey Styles, and it does a decent job.
Yeah, he does.
This Simon guy is good. Joe Hendry steals the win after Connors does his finisher. Then Prince Amin slaps Gabriel Kidd. And that's the story of that one.
Yeah.
Tag team split up, whereas another team are a bit cocky.
We should probably split up next week.
Yeah, they'll probably split up at some point. We go back to the banter.
I had a hard time with the show. I get just your hangdog expression. It just says it all. You even had a hard time in this.
Simon asks the King what he's doing, and the King is actually just ignoring him. I've written here, he's ignoring you and getting himself over, Simon. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Martin Kirby's backstage. Recognisable face. That's Chris Travis's old partner from Project Ego. He's looking for Pasiti. That's the storyline. He finds him instantly. He's just there in the interview bit.
Hi.
He interviews Pasiti, But someone really needs to walk in and interrupt the interview. Otherwise, we're going away from the script here. Pasiti's a right smarmy bugger to an even cockier Kirby and says that he's out of the next match, which is a big deal.
Well, Kirby deserves his cockiness.
Yeah,
He's earned it.
Kirby's a cool dude. He shouldn't talk, though.
Nah. I mean, that's the theme of a lot of this. A lot of these this is why you're in British wrestling, because you just look like a guy at the gym.
Yeah. British voices do not translate to wrestling promos.
Oh, no, it's just looks. None of them, not many have them, I guess, out of a gimmick or a look.
Yeah.
It's just guy in shorts.
It's hard to gimmick guys up that you're bringing in, I suppose.
Oh, no, but even they have, like El Ligero is consistent. You get, like, Marty Scurll's consistent.
Yeah,
they have a consistent identity across the promotions.
Yeah, that's a good point. Guess what happens after this interview? There's another interview.
What a surprise. I think we might be nearing double figures here.
We're getting there. This is I think the 6th or 7th interview of the show. Noam Dar, though, face. We're going to see him on Wednesday, I think, at the Cruiserweight series, which they do plug a lot in this show.
An ICW guy, huh?
He's interviewed by an interviewer lady, and she's probably, out of all the new faces,
She just flirts, though.
her and Simon are probably the best at their jobs. She just interviews, does it straight, and that's it. There's no getting herself over. It's just interviewing the person, fair play. Guess what happens to Noam Dar in this interview? He's interrupted by Jobber Joe from last week.
Yeah.
Who has hair like it's 2007 and the Claxons are still a big deal.
Bless
Bless him indeed. He's a bit ginger. Noam Dar makes fun of him, and that just kind of happened. Jay Lethal versus El Ligero. We get a treat, and I'm so happy.
Hang on, did I fall asleep?
Did you miss Jay Lethal versus El Ligero?
I think I might have fallen asleep.
God, this was the best part of the show.
Yeah, I believe I may have fallen asleep because of how boring it was.
Here's how my notes went. Oh, nice one. Here's Jay Lethal and El Ligero, but not before some banter.
Yeah.
We go back to the commentary team. But yeah, the base story, this is if El Ligero wins, he gets a Ring of Honor world title shot. Implications.
Yeah, you see,
Important. I like that.
it's a pity El Ligero hasn't made like a footprint in America because,
He's
is
good.
Very good.
He's very good. He's basically, if you haven't seen El Ligero before, he's British El Generico.
Yeah, he is. With horns.
So he's English, but he's also Mexican. But he's English. Trust me.
Mexican sensation El Ligero.
Yeah, it is just a rip on the El Generico gimmick, but he's a good wrestler. He's very good.
Yeah, it is.
They have an excellent opening exchange, which is just a breath of fresh air in this show.
Yeah, kind of tempted me to go back and watch it, but I'd have to find it on the time.
You should go back and watch this match. It was
Pretty sure I fell asleep. I must have.
In a show that had very little wrestling so far, it was just wrestling. When Jay Lethal was in the ring, the crowd, I turned on the crowd here. The crowd chant, "You are wrestling" at Jay Lethal. I'm like, he's not wrestling yet. He's not wrestling. He's about to wrestle. So they should be shouting, "You're about to wrestle."
You see what happened?
You are wrestling.
What?
And the King says the only other good thing he says for the rest of the show, which is, "This show isn't about you, crowd." Very true. They do an intro chain masterclass. They do like nice respect spots where they're going back and forth, and then they meet in the middle. There was double drop kick. It was like a Ring of Honor match, really.
Yeah.
And the girl would fit in nicely in Ring of Honor.
I guess. Yeah, they've got a lot of gaps in the roster.
The crowd, however, do not appreciate. There's no way to appreciate things properly. You pay to go somewhere, you react how you want, but the crowd keep trying to get Jay Lethal to do Macho Man impressions. When he's wrestling a really good match with El Ligero.
That's embarrassing.
Jay Lethal does, he's there to entertain the crowd, he does it for them, he's a good sport. Then they repeat this weird spot 3 times where El Ligero keeps rolling out of the way when he tries to do the Macho Man elbow, so he keeps doing Macho Man impressions. That took away from the match a bit. Then the King finally confirms himself as the worst commentator ever by a botch happening. El Ligero sort of missed on a Hurricane Rana. It just looked like a weird sort of like flippy armbar. It definitely wasn't meant to. The King shouts, "What happened there?"
Oh, you don't do that. That's the worst thing a commentator can do.
And then the crowd...
Even Matt Striker wouldn't do that.
Exactly. And then the crowd do even worse by starting a lucha chant like Kalisto to El Ligero.
Yeah.
To which the commentary say...
I know Callisto isn't Mexican, but still. It's more accurate than it is here.
But why are they shouting that? Kalisto's not there.
Yeah.
And then the commentary team say, "What if Sin Cara shows up?" Because they've completely lost the plot at this point. They know they're doing a terrible job. I tell you who didn't put a foot on this entire show, though. The refs, right?
Oh, yeah, the refs are consistent.
WCPW have some bloody good refs. And that's another big point. Do note that amongst all this negativity I'm throwing out there, there was a lot of positives, like the refs.
Well,
refs did a great job.
Just some positives.
The crowd chant "Fight Forever." which point I started hitting my head off things.
Oh, dear.
And then Martin Kirby comes in and just batters everyone, and it's another contest.
Yeah, that's fine.
To which Lethal tries to talk after the match, after Martin Kirby ruined everything. And the crowd just won't shut up. Shut up, the man's talking. He's the best guy there. Shut up and let him talk.
It's what annoys me about the "what" chant that Americans do.
Yeah, I wish that had died out a long time ago. Very annoying. But yeah, Lethal, man, he's the Ring of Honor World Champion. He's came to Newcastle to do a show. Show him some bloody respect.
Yeah, he's one of the best wrestlers, well, in the world, really.
Yeah, without a doubt. And he says that no matter what the Ring of Honor officials say, he will give El Ligero a title shot at some point while he is champion.
Oh,
It was a cool little point to round off that part. Excellent match. At this point, I said that's a great way to end the show.
But it's not.
It wasn't the end of the show, no. There was
There's another 7 interviews.
Yes. Guess what happens next? There's an interview.
Yeah.
Oh, it isn't over. There's Primate by his manager. Guess what happens? The interview is interrupted.
I see a theme.
Are you all right there?
I see a theme.
Don't die of shock, but this interview is ruined by a man with a beard. That must be the in thing in wrestling now, that you have to have a big ginger beard.
Yeah, I think I was still asleep now.
Yeah, you might have been still asleep.
Because I woke up with an arm down and Rampage, in fact. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. You've mercifully missed a good portion. Joe Coffey just basically walks straight through Primate and ruins another interview. Every interview has been ruined so far by someone or something.
Yeah.
Rampage is getting interviewed. There's another interview, and he's with his manager called Adam. Adam from What Culture.
Yeah.
Who is always been my least favourite video guy when I've watched
I
videos
don't like
because he puts himself over in the videos.
Yeah, he does. He puts himself in them.
He puts himself in them, and coincidentally, he has been put into the main story of What Culture Pro Wrestling. Imagine that.
Surprise, eh?
Surprise, surprise. He actually does a good job of building up the match. I will give him that. He has a very punchable face.
He does.
He has so it works as a heel. Like he has a face that looks like he still is breastfed. The first thing when I ever saw this man on this show, I think when on last week's show when I saw him, I just thought, you are still breastfed. That's all I got from his face.
He does have a sort of a...
It's just something about him.
yeah, I think I would stick with that. Breastfed.
Yeah, he's very breastfed. And he's done the good heel thing of wearing the worst clothes ever as well. He's got some weird pattern thing on with a weird little cardigan. He looks horrendous.
He looks like he should be a barrister or something.
But Bobby Heenan always looked horrendous, so...
But Bobby Heenan had everything to back it up.
Yeah. I must say, out of all the What Culture guys put themselves over, he is probably going to do the best job because even watching this interview, when Rampage finally turns on him, Rampage is going to become the top face of the company. Just by punching him in the face. It's got to happen. The problem also with this Adam guy being a heel is all the crowd love What Culture and therefore love him.
Yeah.
So he's not getting put over as a heel by the crowd, which is a bit of a sore point, despite because they should be the top heels of the show. This match happened. Go on, Rob. You watched it. You saw this. Tell me what happened.
Well, this is another classic little man, big man thing, isn't it? Rampage is a very big guy. They're going about the commentary, another actual doing their research note. They talk about Rampage had a bit of a backstory. He was in ACW when that was revived. And Noam Dar is going to be in the Cruiserweight series. So, they're trumpeting up how big the achievements are. One's a veteran, one's pretty young.
They were both on TNA British Boot Camp as well, so their paths have crossed as well.
I don't believe I watched that one.
It was the second one, I think.
Yeah, I only watched the first one, and they should have signed Marty Scurll, but completely different matter. Yeah. But it's just another big man, little man match. Rampage it's better than the first match, but it's the same as the first match.
Yeah, it's the same style as the first match, but this is two better hands.
Yeah, Noam Dar goes for he focuses on the legs.
My big problem with this is the first 2 minutes. I think it was the first 2 minutes of this match.
Yeah,
now it happened.
Not really.
But from then on, there was a lot in these matches tonight. I don't know who they must be calling it in the ring because I assume there's no road agents. No one's mapping these matches out. There's been a lot of nothing in these matches, which is British wrestling's very wrestling centric, as you pointed out, and there should be constantly something happening. So when you are broadcasting a show as a TV show, even if it is on YouTube, something should constantly be happening.
Of course.
And there's a lot of nothing in these matches. Noam Dar bloody loves Oasis and Star Wars, doesn't he?
He does, bless him.
But yeah, like you say, big man.
I was kind of underwhelmed by as a main event. It's very underwhelming, but it is.
El Ligero should have been the main event.
It's ended by the big Beast of Belfast. I think that's right. I can't remember what they call him. I think it's just the Beast of Belfast.
Yeah, he is a Beast of Belfast. Big Demo.
Big Demo, who is big, and yeah.
And very Demo.
Yeah, he is.
Adam Blampied? I'm going to say.
Blampede. Because he wrote peas the bed still.
Oh, God. He's a little baby boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He calls for the pile driver. He does a decent job in this match. He is... I thought I'd hate him. I think that you're meant to hate him, but he does do a good job.
We're just very indifferent to all of the What Culture guys there.
Yeah, he has a bit of personality about him. He calls for the pile driver because it's banned. Dar reverses it into a near fall, and then Rampage wins with a Batista bomb, sit down power bomb type thing.
Yeah, very anticlimactic.
Adam Blampede is fuming because he wanted the pile driver to happen, but that would have resulted in Rampage being sacked. So can't get my head around that. Yeah, Big Demo comes out with that little ginger man.
His nephew.
Is it his nephew?
May as well be, because if that's supposed to be his manager, it's just not even in the most believable.
I do not know who the little ginger Claxton's man is, but he comes out and they have a brawl. I'm like,
net.
cool brawl. And then the show ends. I'm like, oh, I'm looking forward to seeing these two fight. Oh, show ends.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up there, but I think the one point is there's a reason why All Evil Promotions do monthly events.
Yes. This should be monthly, yeah.
Because it's a longer show, you can pack it all in, more wrestling.
More time to iron stuff over, more time to produce it.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with modern wrestling. Just everybody feels the need to do a weekly show. You don't need to.
They do not need to at all. The Vanity Project comment does shine through in this. There is a lot of Vanity Project about this.
Yeah.
It's getting the What Culture brand over as opposed to getting the guys you are paying over, I suppose.
Yeah.
You are meant to promote the company, but it could come at a...
I don't think they'll last long, I'll be honest.
I don't know how much money's in that pot.
I reckon they'll last about 6 months, and then they'll go under, because every company needs their own thing which marks them out as this is what we are.
And
I mean, Progress has the strong style, and Southside and all them are just pure wrestling.
Yeah. This
has nothing.
The niche point of this show is that it's What Culture.
Yeah.
That is the niche.
There's no selling point.
And it'll grab in the What Culture fans. But if I'd never seen What Culture on YouTube before, I'd A, have no interest in watching their videos, and B, no interest in them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only over with people that like What Culture. So they need to move away from that and just focus on making a great wrestling product with less interviews, less of the same thing happening in interviews, where someone's
matches
there.
where they don't start off with nothing happening.
Yep, matches where time is filled as opposed to just wasted. Just constantly something going on and different things happening.
Yes.
As opposed to a guy walking in being interviewed, someone walking in and setting something up.
Yeah.
6 times, 7 times.
But anyhow, we'll take a break there.
It was. I did like talking about it though, and it was good to watch something new. I hope they.
We'll be watching more new stuff.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
We will be reviewing more new stuff, and I hope they go from strength to strength. I hope it does get better. Fingers crossed for them.
It's not looking good so far, though.
Not the best start. I don't think anyone starts well though. So.
No.
Fingers crossed for them, and let's hope it goes well.
Indeed, and we're back in a minute.
The Geek Show is a volunteer organisation, so if you like us, please support us by donating with the button on the right-hand side of the website.
If you like what you heard so far and want to hear more, then please show your support by buying one of our lovely bits of merchandise from our wonderful shop, which you can find on our website, thegeekshow.co.uk, or on our Facebook group. Just look for The Geek Show.
Hey. Oh, is that not good enough, like?
Welcome back, I guess.
Hey, guys, it's Lucha time. Yeah.
Yeah, Lucha, Ultima Lucha Dos.
Hola.
Little bits here and there. I mean, the thing I like here is they separate the backstage from the ring. So,
you know what's amazing?
A few weeks ago, they announced that this cat Lucha, who's supposed to be a big deal,
Lucha.
I don't know who he is. I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody. Dario has like an interview and meeting.
Oh yeah, the cat man.
This cat guy.
Yeah, Mr. Cat.
I don't know who he is. But
Maestro Quito.
He's got a long name.
Yeah.
It's like El Hijo del Fantasma.
Oh, is it?
No, but that's
King Cuerno, isn't it?
That's King Cuerno, yeah. And
hey, this guy.
In P head is Ray Horus.
Ray Horus.
No, Horus.
Ray Horus.
Ray Horus.
Like thesaurus.
Yeah, thesaurus. But yes, so there's lots of things that happen, and it's part one of
You know what? I feel really free now. talking about something else.
Yeah,
my mind's free. I've been so
work.
clogged by that last show.
It's the work.
This feels amazing. Like the fresh air. Like you didn't really enjoy this, did you? Because it was very.
It's very hardcore match orientated, and I don't like that specific type of wrestling. Because in the case of Lucha, they do tend to take it too far, and I believe it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy because the crowd go, "This is awesome, Lucha." So it's like they're goading them on to do more and more and more and more. I don't like that sort of reciprocal wave.
But you don't want to do that to the Cage and the Mac as well because bloody hell.
Yeah.
These two did it last year, didn't they? And so Dario comes out. This is the tournament for the unique opportunity. This is for the unique opportunity, it's called.
So it's like Mac Kinquet. No, not Mac Kinquet. It's Mac, the worst person in the world.
Oh, you and your hate for Cage.
Son of Havoc and El Tejano.
And El Tejano. Yes. What's El Tejano's name again? What do they call him? The Working Class Bruiser or something? What's he called?
Yeah, it's just that Working Class
got a
Bruiser.
name. Is it the Working Class Bruiser?
The Blue Collar Bruiser. But anyway, the first match is it's a no fault count anywhere, use anything, and it's horrible.
Yeah, Dario books it as this based on last year, which last year's Ultima Lucha opened with Cage versus the Mac. When I think didn't Cage curb stomp the Mac through?
Yeah, he does
cinder
try to
blocks?
do it this time as well.
Yeah.
There's lots of picking things up, smacking people with them, literally picking anything that's not nailed down. And one bit I did like that Lucha do right. In other wrestling companies, they've got a bin, and they never keep anything in that bin.
Oh no.
They went to Lucha.
There was only one time seen it was when it was Steve Blackman's weapon bin.
Yeah.
When Steve Blackman would always have a bin full of weapons.
He kept stuff in there, though. He
filled
was
it up.
making use out of that bin.
It's out, now that Senor Benjamin is filling all the rings. He's getting it right, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's doing a good job as Benjamin. But this match, it's just lots of things where people are hitting each other with big things and metal things, and
But it does have the best finish to a match ever.
yeah, where Cage goes to do the curb stomp and then he gets a roll up.
Well, no, he slips on the beer.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, because they had a bit of a... Well, basically the Mac is basically Black Steve Austin.
Yeah, he is.
He takes a swig of beer, goes all over the floor, and then eventually Cage slips over the beer.
Not to be confused with Damak, who's in the Cruiserweight series from Germany.
Oh, that's Damak, isn't it?
Yeah, that was confusing.
Return of Damak as opposed to the Mac.
Is that just a middle finger at Lamaka Fox?
Yeah, just a lot of Macs, isn't it? It's a common name.
I guess.
Big Mac.
But yeah, Lamak won, and good on him.
He rolls up Cage after the slip for the win, and yeah, he gets his win back from last year. That's long-term 50-50 booking.
Yeah, and next up, it was...
I didn't realise we were doing the whole tournament one night, which was...
Son of Havoc versus Tejano, and Dario comes out and says, "You're a road warrior, you live on the road, you're a biker, you do that sort of lifestyle, you're a blue-collar worker."
Blue collar brawler.
Blue-collar, I've said that, yeah. So he says, what I picture here, what I can't get out of my head is a bar fight. And he's got like this little bar set
Bar
at
appears.
the side of the thing, and it's horrible.
It's a Boyle Heights bar fight.
Yeah. It's just lots of smashing people over their head with bottles. There's a particularly nasty bit where there's like a backdrop from Son of Havoc onto the actual bar.
Yeah.
And he goes straight through it.
And then Tejano actually, doesn't he use the glass that's broken from the bar and put it in the ring?
Yeah, he gets like this little tray, puts it all in.
Yeah.
He does like he drops DTTs him on that.
It's horrible.
And then just does another move on the back of it. And I thought, really? I watched CCW who was okay with this. This is not nice.
This was just a very hardcore, brawly type of show, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. I mean, it's okay to have it. It's a special event. It's every now and again. It's like, I didn't mind the No Mask match because it made sense, like, as a building up as a storyline. They needed to get that out there, you know. It built up to a conclusion. That was that conclusion.
But Rob, would you not do anything for one of Dario's unique opportunities?
Well, it depends. Well, in this
You don't know what the unique opportunity is, but it is a unique opportunity.
Yeah. But Son of Havoc wins.
Son of Havoc does win. He bicycle kicks Tejano into a wine box,
But it's horrible.
which was just brutal, and then Tejano's done. I felt bad. I wanted Tejano to win this whole thing.
Yeah, it was a very New Japan thing. In New Japan, they have matches very high impact, and the referee, the young boys come in with like an ice pack, pull it on the neck. Never seen that in anything other than like Japanese production. So in here, they were worried about Tejano. So they had people like set out.
You should have night-owed them, though, and just battered them all.
I don't think he can stand up, to be honest.
True.
Poor guy.
What a hard man Tejano is. I really wanted him to win, but I'm happy for Son of Havoc.
I'm disappointed that they've not made a bigger deal out of him because he is a big deal, you know.
He is a very big deal.
He's one thing about like American independent wrestlers, they're all sort of knocking around 30. The one thing that's just shocked me about Mexican wrestling is how young everybody is and how incredibly good they all are.
Well, Cuerno, 25, isn't he?
Yeah, something like that. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And they've all got such good heads on them.
I think like, Pentagon's like 28.
Is he?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just how young they all are.
If I was in charge of WWE right now,
Yeah.
and I had power of all the contracts, I would just swap Del Rio for Tejada in it.
Oh,
Heartbeat.
yeah. I've actually thought that myself.
Absolute heartbeat. If you want that Mexican star, man, this guy, he's likable,
Yeah.
but he's also very hateable.
Yeah.
He can do both. He's got a gimmick. He's got the family line that WWE loves so much, and he's better. He's just all around better.
He's just a better wrestler.
Yeah. And I love seeing him. I love seeing him whenever he comes out. He's not on as much as the other guys in Lucha, but I really wanted him to win this because I really wanted them to push him next season. Now, they might do still. Let's
There's plenty of time yet.
Son of Havoc goes through the final against the Mac. A very interesting matchup for me.
Yeah. It's the whoever wins it gets the unique opportunity, and I don't think it's much of a match because literally neither of them can stand on the feet at this point.
Yeah. I was very shocked that they were doing this all in one night because that is just a very intense hour for particularly Son of Havoc.
Yeah, because there was the match where it got 6 competitors down to the 1, in which the final was Phoenix versus Pentagon, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But them people, I have a great respect if you can do a match like that, and it's the same this week as well.
Yeah, it's just respect through the roof. It was like watching Cormier and Silver this week. I love seeing guys that go to such lengths for.
Yeah, it's incredible. It is incredible. But the last match isn't much. I mean, there's a bit at the beginning where Mac just sort of does a get-off push, which Hernandez does, and Son of Havoc just can't get off. He's knackered. But it's over pretty quickly.
Yeah,
it has to be. It has.
Falls count anywhere as well, like the first match, and it's just
But eventually he gets the opportunity. Son of Havoc wins.
Yep, he wins with the shooting star press. It's very symbolic. Havoc ascends to the top rope, ascends through the air. He's a shooting star. He's came from jobber in Lucha to finally having this unique opportunity.
And the unique opportunity when Matt Dario comes down, he says, I've got 2 suitcases, and one is £250,000 more than you'd ever make in your entire career. Probably true.
Felt a bit bad for poor Mac Cross at that point.
On the other hand, is a guaranteed title shot.
Ultimate Lucha Trace.
And you take one, and this other person who comes down now will take the other if they beat you. And if they beat you, you lose that opportunity.
So,
and
I'm wondering who it is.
Famous B comes down.
He's got a new client.
I've got a new client.
And it's Mexican legend, the Doc.
Doc Wagner, or Wagner Jr.
Yeah.
Who's a 30-year veteran. And I went to the gym like last year or the year before, and there was like this really shredded old guy. It was like terrifying. I'm pretty sure it was Dr. Wagner Jr.
How ridiculous is that body for that age?
He's got like
man?
a 30-year veteran.
Yeah.
And he looks like that.
Yeah.
It's either that or Scott Steiner under there. I don't know.
He's an absolute freak. And
it's a pretty... he just squashes him.
Yeah.
Absolutely squashes him.
So, Famous B claims he has the cure, and he has the doctor to prove it, so it's the new...
Massive, massive pop.
Yeah, but he's so good that within a few minutes they're booing him. Kevin Owens style.
Yeah.
But Dr. Wagner obviously predates him by quite some time.
Yeah.
Son of Havoc is the ultimate babyface here, and Wagner absolutely destroying him. The crowd just hate to see.
It was great.
Especially because with
it's the one bit of the show that he actually genuinely enjoyed the way they did that.
And the Lucha crowd, they're like us, they appreciate not only the storyline aspect, but actually the human aspect of it. And to see Son of Havoc just get squashed.
Yeah.
You feel it, don't you?
Going through all of that. All of that punishment.
Emotionally, you are like, I can empathise that. Imagine if that was you. You've been through.
I'd probably do a Roman Reigns, not crying.
Yeah. Oh, don't. I'll never get that image out of my head.
Oh, you know.
That's why I can't hate Roman Reigns.
Or take drugs and then be off for a month.
Yeah, there is that as well. God, yeah. Oh, God, yeah, we haven't even talked about that. Roman Reigns is suspended. Bloody hell. But yeah.
So he's not winning a Battleground. I'm not going to reward that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll cover Battleground in a couple of weeks. But Doc Wagner Jr. eventually wins. He does the Dr. Driver, which is just like a Michinoku driver. Kills him. And Dr. Wagner now has 250 grand richer. Famous B starts shouting, "We are rich. We are rich."
Yeah.
As Ultima Lucha Dos Part Uno.
Yeah, confusing.
Goes off the air.
We move on to NXT.
Let's move straight on to NXT. The Wednesday Night Wars.
Yes.
NXT opens with a match that I've been wanting to see since it last happened about 2 years ago. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Obviously, Alexa Bliss has gotten so much better.
Well, she has. I mean, she's been one of the sort of the great successes of the Performance Center. She gets better every match. I think she's actually getting better at a quicker rate than Carmella.
Yeah.
Because she has more defined character, whereas Carmella's just, my boys, and she just recycles that, whereas she's just Queen evil bitch.
Yeah, that resting bitch face, I mention it every week, it's amazing.
And she has some great moves. She has like standing moonsault to the knees, which is just horrible. She's just really stuff that she is just hers.
It's cool, yeah, instead of just doing generic stuff, she's putting one little twist on it, a little bliss twist, a little blist.
Yeah, and she's renamed the Sparkle Splash to something which is just horrible in recent weeks.
The Twisted Bliss. Haha! I remembered something.
But it's building up to... Bayley is sort of the insurmountable force right now, you know.
Remember a few weeks ago when I said I was getting sick of Bayley?
Yeah, I remember that.
And I felt controversial saying it. I felt like I was saying something shocking. She started to get booed at house shows.
Has she really?
Yeah.
I think it's time to move her on up.
They've waited probably a little bit too long. People are starting... Because it is the Cena thing. There's only so long you can go along with that shtick. Before adults start to boo you. Not kids. Adults start to boo you.
Yeah.
Bayley wins this with the Bayley belly.
Which I think is a terrible finisher.
Yeah, and the crowd, I could sense a bit of sourness in the actual Full Sail crowd when she hit that Bayley
It's
belly.
just a pun.
What?
It's just a pun. It's a pun and a belly to belly. It's such an average move.
It is an average move. And there was a sort of groan that she'd won. I could sense it.
I never
People
felt that.
The way the match was going, people actually kind of wanted Bliss to win.
Yeah, because she's earned it.
Yeah, she has earned it. But obviously, Bayley's on the road to redemption. She's owed a title shot.
She's going to lose it.
She has to, yeah. They need to just get her on the main roster ASAP now.
And give Asuka, like, a role, because she's barely featured since winning the title.
I know I think she's going to be on this week. I think that's going to be the first time since bloody...
Yeah, I've heard rumblings that Atami's going to be back very soon.
Atami's back on the house shows. He's been wrestling.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
Thank God for that. It'll be good.
How they're going to actually turn him heel, because he can't have the lovable Japanese underdog, because somebody's kind of taken that.
Well, he's not. Well, Nakamura is no underdog.
Oh no, he's no underdog, but he's taken the lovable Japanese part of it.
That's this Wednesday as well. Remember, Finn Balor Nakamura.
Oh dear
my
me.
God. That's
another match where in the trials and the house shows they've been shouting "Fight Forever," but that's okay because it's them.
It's not bloody El Ligero and Jay Lethal. TM61 get a vignette. I'm glad they're fully on the show now.
I finally came to terms with why I don't like the Authors of Pain or whatever.
Oh, why?
How green they are.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's so green. It's not that they're too muscular or whatever said the previous time. It's just how green and lacking in finesse they are.
Yeah, Dana Brooks syndrome, innit?
Yeah, it is.
Rush to the roster. I mean, I'd never even bloody heard of them. And you do hear. I like to keep up on what's going on at the Performance Center. I like to read tweets by the trainers and stuff about.
Yeah,
and you hear names, and I'd never heard of these two.
No.
I think the twins, aren't they?
No, I don't think they really look alike.
Well,
they don't have to be identical twins.
I knew there were twins in the Performance Center. I assumed it was them.
I think
but they do have different names. So
yeah.
Well, they do have different ring names. I do like. Hopefully, Paul Ellering is the saving grace. This I like his presence. He's just eerie, creepy, sort of like he's like a comic book villain, isn't he?
His smug grin is very.
He reminds me of like he looks like he's being played by Ben Kingsley.
Yes, he does. But yeah, that's good. TM61, they're very dominant. Very cool. Looking forward to seeing them.
In the Revival, another tag team getting an interview. Guess what? It's not interrupted.
That's good.
And they claim they will retain the championships with their 4 fists and good sets of feet. These are getting camper as the week go by.
I don't think they realise it, do they?
No.
Bless them.
They go hard all day and all night. Blake and Murphy versus the Hype Bros. I haven't got much to say about this apart from Rhino's back.
Yeah, he's a wide human being, isn't he?
He gets wider. He's like, when kids grow, he's just widening out.
He's like really short, but wide.
He's actually eventually going to be a Rhino. You know, like Rhino out of Spider-Man?
Yeah.
He's going to be Rhino. He's going to go grey.
Basically. Oh, but bless
I love Rhino. Rhino was one of my favourite wrestlers. I remember having SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, where you used to run around backstage and get your guy at the top. That was Rhino, man. Rhino headline WrestleMania, like against like Hulk Hogan or something.
That's an odd thing you just said.
I bloody loved him, man. Like Rhino was one of my favourite comic book characters as well.
Of course. But from that...
we get promos for Nakamura. Balor excited. American Alpha are back.
It's just the thing that's thing Balor says, but you have like locker room friends and you have real life friends. And Nakamura is one of my best friends in the whole world. And it's like He's met my family. I've met his. Like, oh my God, I think I'm falling in love with the two of them.
One of my favourite Nakamura lines ever is who come meet my parents. I was just like, oh, you're like, imagine I'm taking Finn to meet the parents. Like, can you imagine Finn being around someone's parents? He's just like, the mother will love him instantly.
Yeah.
He's just such a he's such a lovely boy.
Yeah.
I'd love to introduce him to my grandparents.
I'd love to meet. It's too nice. It's too nice.
I'd bloody love him.
Them too.
My granddad would be a bit iffy because he's Irish. Despite my granddad hates the Irish. He always has hated the Irish. And he's banged on him how much he hates the Irish for years. And he goes, "Oh, Jamie, will you look up my granddad? He used to play for Sheffield United. Will you look him up?" I was like, "What's his surname?" He goes, "Oh, Boyle." I could see his face drop as he said it. He kept the secret for so long. So we're Irish now. So Finn Balor would walk in and be welcomed with open arms by
one thing.
Irish family.
I think Jericho said it this week that Nakamura's future WWE champion.
Yeah. Well, Jericho had a match with them in Japan, didn't he?
Yeah.
Apparently, it was amazing. Like,
I'd hope so.
I'd love to see that because it's like two rock stars that aren't actually rock stars but are rock stars.
Yeah.
Going at it. And
but main event, we go
Jericho's
on.
been awesome lately as well.
Yeah, he's been getting really good.
Did you see any of SmackDown this week?
No, I have to start watching that when they do the draft.
All I've got to say is Kevin Owens stole his scarf, and just that sentence knows that you're going to get some good television out of that.
Given what's happened recently, how Kevin Owens was scrutinising Jericho's ability to sit on top of a ladder. Stuff like that.
Kevin Owens and Jericho are absolute gold. I hope Owens ends up on his podcast at some point. That'll be an awesome interview.
But the main event is a best of three.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 falls. American Alpha vs. Revival. It was okay.
One thing that's getting really stale is the sort of impressive spots, which American Alpha do. Love American Alpha, but it's just when they do a sequence of things where they've got all counted and all, it feels very practiced.
You mean the same every time?
Yeah.
They need to shake it up, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
Well, they have like the sort of the big, very dominant. They run around the ring. They do the bits. They throw each other at the opposite turnbuckles. Do all this. Do the big suplexes. Throw the two people out the ring. It feels so rehearsed right now. It's kind of boring. And I like the tag team so much. I don't like saying that.
On the same note, the Revival, half the match is the guy in their corner tagging out. That's good for 5 minutes, not 10, 15 minutes.
I think it was like a 20-minute match. This,
yeah, they just like obviously that is the old school tag mentality. You isolate the face, hot tag for the baby face, comes in, cleans house. They do leave it a bit too long. I'm sick of seeing that in Revival matches. It makes me not want to watch them because I know I'm going to skip ahead and that hot tag's going to happen.
Yeah.
Use it sparingly. Don't use it every match.
It's just with such a rich vein of talent in the tag division, I need to do something.
And it's back to square one with the tag division. Fall 1 was American Alpha, Fall 2 was Revival, and you just knew the Revival were going to win. It was like the inevitability whenever the Revival in a tag match, you're like, they're going to retain, and I'm going to not like it.
Yeah.
And it was such a big deal when, after watching them retain easily for months, it was like when John Cena was the champ, and every show finished with John Cena's music. We go hard all day, like whatever. Finishes every tag match.
Yeah.
And they eventually lost to American Alpha, and it was awesome. Like, I was so happy that American Alpha finally got rid of these guys. And then a month later, it's back to normal.
Yeah,
I feel like I've been winded by the tag division. And I don't want to feel winded as a fan. I want to ride waves and.
Well, on other bits, I don't think we mentioned, but the surprise, I think it was last week, how whatever Biff Busick's called this week,
Oni Lorcan
got the win on
Ty Dillinger.
So that's good.
Oni, they need to stack up the roster, don't they? So.
Yeah, but looking for next week. We're going to be bringing on the Cruiserweight.
Yes,
which I am very, very excited about.
So next week we'll be talking about. We'll go through what happens in NXT because obviously we'll have Nakamura Balor. We can't not talk about that.
Yes,
but we will have the first round of the Cruiserweight series as well,
which I'm looking forward to. There's a lot of people in there that I wasn't aware of. A lot of people that I was. It's just very, very exciting. I'm surprised. I mean, on the YouTube, I think they've been talking about how they've signed the first WWE Chinese talent.
And there's a Chinese guy in the bloody thing.
I think there's about 3 of them.
There's only one.
No, there's 2 at least.
2 Chinese?
Because there's like one called Ho Ho Lun, who's like the only one who's known, and another guy who I can't remember the name of. But
I thought it was only one Chinese guy.
One Chinese and one guy from Hong Kong. I think Ho Ho Lun was from Hong Kong.
Different, Rob.
Yeah, it's not an English territory anymore. It's been reclaimed back into China, so technically they shouldn't separate it like that.
Who do you want to win?
I think Sabre will win.
I think Ibushi will win.
I'm happy with either.
I think that'll be the final.
It has to be the final.
It should be the final. Some dark horses. Akira Tozawa.
He's popped up in some PWG. He's very good.
He's good friends with Apollo Crews, and they've been playing along with that on YouTube. They've been doing a lot of stuff
But
with them.
the theory here is, what is the purpose of this? Why are they doing it? Are they going to sign some people from it?
Well, it's they need bodies, don't they? So I think
I reckon if I was going to Dreamworld, I'd say final 8 signed. But I don't think they do that.
Yeah, you got to book it that way. Yeah.
And the top one, the one who wins it, gets the revived cruiserweight belt. And
I don't want to see the belt.
not
I
really.
don't want to see the belt at all. I like this tournament, but I don't want to see a belt come back.
Okay. Well, they need to give just a massive trophy
Yeah,
to the person who
trophy.
wins.
Yeah, just like the Dusty Rhodes Classic.
But they need to do something with the roster because they need
I think
more people to fill out this draft thing.
what better way to audition indie guys than just by having a 32-man tournament? It's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, there's only
not only
I think
can
there was
they
about 4 of them are actually signed, like currently in WWE.
well,
Gargano, Swan.
not even signed. The only ones that are signed, the only guy that's signed is Rich Swann.
Oh, really?
That actually has a contract. Yeah, even Ciampa's still wrestling in other places.
I think he still has a contract, though. I think he has like a Rhino contract where he can still work.
Yeah,
elsewhere.
obviously there's a deal in
Yeah.
place, but yeah, I think it's just Rich Swann.
Yeah, but this is going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Like I say, it is the perfect way to audition them because not only are they auditioning talent to put in the performance center, they are also selling the network by putting an awesome tournament on.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. I love this forward thinking. That's why I'm so gutted about the draft because there's all this forward movement stuff going on, like the Cruiserweight series and bringing guys from New Japan, having the club and AJ Styles in WWE, and then we have a draft, which is that thing that brought the ratings to the low that they are at.
I think I might have a little moment when Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre are on like the WWE network. I might need a moment.
Even when they appeared, even when they were just doing like the little Waynes or whatever.
and the Daniel Bryan and the guy, the Ronaldo guy.
Marinello, yeah, that's going to be an awesome
Great.
team.
I mean, Daniel Bryan was so enthusiastic. He says, I've had matches with Kota Ibushi and he's the hardest kicker in the world. I was like, yeah.
His first ever match was against Brian Kendrick. And he was there.
Oh, he's in there, yeah. And
He
Tajiri.
He really wants to, Tajiri as well. Tajiri, man, like with his weird anti-aging serum.
Well, that's what he spits out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So he must just rub it on his face. I'm not doing it to affect you, just rub face.
But yeah, that's
Did you
it.
see the video of him and William Regal bumping into each other?
I heard of.
Just William Regal really not wanting anything to do with him. It's amazing.
But anyhow, that's all we have time for. 2 sweet rankings, match, hero, villain, idiot, and spot.
Well, I haven't even thought of this. Like match of the week, bloody hell. God, it's probably
The Guerrero.
the Guerrero Lethal. Probably was. I don't know. Like no. I'll just give it to Son of Havoc versus Tejano because I love them.
Yeah, I can agree with that, even though it's horrible.
Hero of the week.
Sound Havoc.
Yeah, and
Even though he was screwed, he
sometimes your heroes do fall.
he got to fall for them to rise back up again.
Exactly. Villain and idiot combined is that bloody King bloke from
He wasn't
Culture
great.
Wrestling who almost ruined the entire show. Well, pretty much did ruin the entire show.
He did, yeah. I want that. Even though I missed some bits, can't deny that.
It was just some of it was just unlistenable at times. They need that Simon bloke was good. They need someone better. I'd have that Adam bloke, the manager. Get him on commentary.
Yeah.
Do a better job than this King. Spot of the week. You know what? It's ending a match with Brian Cage slipping on his backside.
Yeah.
That's how you end a bloody match, and that was my spot of the week.
I can't deny that. That's top stuff.
And that is the week in wrestling. It's good to be back.
Yes, and we're back next week. Cruiserweight Classic, NXT,
We roll it next week with an awesome week of wrestling.
Lucha, DOS.
Yeah.
I think that'd be enough, really.
That'd be awesome. I cannot wait.
And one thing I want to... No, that doesn't matter. Cut that out. Yeah, but that's it. That's all I have time for. We're done. We're over. 2 Seat Wrestling. We're back.
Twitter, 2SW UK. Facebook, 2 Suit Wrestling. Find us. Love us.
Yes.
Hug us.
If you're on iTunes, give us some ratings, especially your listeners from international waters, because, there's so many stars for iTunes.
Talking to you, Juan.
Everybody needs to give us a rating on their own little national bubble. And yay!
Yay.
Not all UK stuff.
Nah, screw you guys.
But until next time, thanks for listening. I've been Rob.
Probably Jay.
Well, see you next week.
Bye.